Welcome back to Appalachian Dim Sum. This is episode 34.
Appalachian Dim Sum, where our entertainment is our comfort food.
And we just had, this is going to be desserts, and we just had our desserts.
Yes.
Empty calories.
We started out with an empty bowl,
Mm-hmm.
and our theme has been the empty man. So we, last minute, trying to come up with something, came up with, we'll just do some empty calorie food. And our main course was a bunch of French fries with cheese and bacon on them. So then we, in a very healthy decision, we decided to follow that up with duck donuts.
Horrible decisions were made. And
so, what do we consume? 5,000 calories today, and they're as empty as the vessel named James.
I'm gonna have to have a bowl of broccoli to try to offset all this tonight.
I've not had a duck donut, and I don't even remember when. It's been almost a year, probably. I haven't had a donut in almost a year. So that was wonderful and torturous all at once.
And now that I'm sitting down, I'm realizing that the sugar's affecting me. So I'm a little buzzing. So I might crash here in a little bit. If you see me nod off while we're talking, that's the reason.
I'm more likely to just
just fall over. One thing I wanted to talk about, and I haven't talked about it yet in these episodes, is this is episode 34, and so we have a lot of footage that we've filmed. Yes. And it pretty early on, I ran out of space. It was just I did not have any more space to keep all the raw footage. Yeah. So what I've been doing is I've been keeping the completed episode that we upload to YouTube. I've been keeping that because I don't even when I export it, I export it 1080p. I don't even export it 4K to try to keep the. I could go 720p. But I think the expectation is at least HD, Yeah. But anyway, my computer filled up even with those. And I had justified getting a 12 terabyte external hard drive because my phone got filled up with photos, and I had other photos on this computer and another computer, and I wanted to consolidate everything. And I was like, well, instead of paying for cloud storage to store everything on, let's get an external hard drive and we'll put that on there. And I'm like, oh, it's 12 terabytes. It's plenty of room to put our stuff on. And so that's what I've been doing is I've been dumping it on there. And up until these recordings, not the raw files, because like I said, the raw files are gone. Bye. The episodes, the compiled and completed episodes, is just about 600 gigabytes at this point. Wow. And I'm like, oh my goodness, that's a lot of information.
Yeah, I've run into the same thing when I edit I do the little Pokemon channel, and those are generally just 15-minute videos, but in making those, I record sometimes 4 or 5 games and cut segments out of those, and then build a little description of the deck and some explanation of stuff to film all that, and then have to voice it. And those are all pieces of things that take up memory. And once I get a finally rendered file to upload, I throw the rest of it away because otherwise I would have been out of space a long time ago. And those don't take up anywhere near as much space as probably what you have because they're so short.
I can't imagine what people who do podcasting for a living. I mean, they've got to just have servers. That's just the long and short of it. They have to have storage servers, or they're paying for massive cloud storage.
They've got income, so they've got resources to spend on extra storage and extra people to do their editing for them. Probably is a big thing.
That is also one of the things of
they sit down and they do this for an hour, and then they don't have to do anything again for another month because somebody else is doing the rest of it.
The little bit of editing that I do on our videos, it's like, whew, man, I feel sorry for people who are doing, I think of these people who do in-depth video analysis and stuff, and all the different media they have to pull in and find the right cut and stuff like that. Well, for a 10-minute video, you spend 3 or 4 hours just pulling the media.
Especially when you're doing a script for something like the Pokemon videos where I'm trying to go through and do a very concise thing really quickly. You do type it out, read it. it's so much harder to read and not screw something up.
Right.
And how many times you get halfway through it and then you stumble on something and you're like, crap. You have to figure out where to cut it and then go back and edit those pieces together or redo it. And it's way more work than it's worth, but it's something to do.
Relatively recently, not like 2 weeks ago, but like relatively recently, I had written out something that I wanted to, because I wanted to make a video and say a specific thing. I wanted to make sure I was saying everything I wanted to say. So I wrote a little script, right? And I found this program that put it on your phone and like a teleprompter, so you could read it off your phone while recording. I was like, so that worked out pretty well. But I had to record it 5 or 6 times until I got something that was somewhat okay, because I stammer anyway. And I have mush mouth. So as I'm reading, I'll mispronounce a word or miss a word or something.
I used to try to wing those little Pokemon videos that I do, and I try to keep those around 15 minutes. And when you try to wing them, the introductory part, which I usually try to target for about 5 or 6 minutes, would be like 18 minutes. I'm like, okay, I'm going to have to just like write these out and just read them, because I'll see something else that I think of while I'm narrating and stuff, and I'll talk about that, and you just don't realize that takes 2 minutes or this takes 3 minutes. And it's a challenge.
Well, we see what we do here.
Yeah.
We ramble on a bit. Even though I do still stammer and kind of stumble over my own words, one of the things I noticed, like in the first 2 episodes that we did, is I was very much an person, and I've tried very hard to get away from that. I think I've been doing okay.
Yeah. I don't even know if I do that. I'll be paying attention the next time we do it.
No, I'm stammering again. You're pretty good. There's no vocal issues. I
think I'm too tired to I'm at that point in my life where I'm just conserving energy as much as I can.
Too tired to That's a t-shirt if I ever heard one. AppalachianDimSum.shop. No, that's not a website.
We'll get there.
We'll get there.
I want plushies of the dumplings first.
Yeah, I like our little dumplings. All right. Well, this is desserts.
This is what we are looking forward to.
What we're looking forward to, what's coming up.
I've said before, this was usually a trailer show, and we've never figured out how it is everybody else on the planet can show a daggone trailer and make videos. And one time we did it, and you're like, you're banned in 4,000 countries, and you're like,
yep,
okay.
Yeah, we got copyright struck, and it said this video is not viewable in the following countries, and opened up the little tab, and it was just like every country. It's like, oh well. It
was like, we were viewable in Guam and like the place where they shot the Empty Man, Bhutan, and the Himalayas.
But I do have a couple of trailers on here. I'm not sure if you've seen, but I think what we'll do is when we get to the part where it's an upcoming movie that has a trailer, we'll just stop this. We'll watch the trailer, then we'll come back. We've done that before. It works well.
Yeah. I think the stuff that I saw get posted to Discord last night while I was frantically trying to make my notes was not anything that I think one of them was the Allen movie. I think I've seen that.
There's a very specific reason I want to talk about that.
Gotcha.
Right, but the first thing we're going to talk about is Primal.
Yes.
Now, the first season we watched together. We still need to watch it. Did we watch the whole season?
We watched the majority of it. I think we didn't get all the way through because we watched some and then stopped, and we watched a couple more. I know I wanted to show you the zombie dinosaur one, I think.
I thought I saw that one.
And I think we skipped ahead to that because that is
that's what it is. Okay.
I think that's early second season. I'm not 100% sure of that. But yeah.
What we should do is look at maybe finding a place, like a restaurant or something, that we can meet like halfway between us. Because it's about 30-minute drive between us, between our houses. But if we could like find a place to meet, it'd be nice to be able to get together and watch some of this stuff.
Yeah. I've got this on Vudu because I did get digital copies of these.
Okay.
So they can be viewed from anywhere because I actually own them. I have physical copies too. And if I have to get a bootleg copy of them, then I will, because they are, Gendy's just a personal favorite of mine. And I think I covered Symbiotic Titan at one point. That's my favorite thing that he's ever done. But of course, just as a refresher, he did the animated Clone Wars series that spanned the 2 movies. I think it was like a Cartoon Network. They were shorts that came out. Samurai Jack, Dexter's Laboratory.
I think Samurai Jack is probably what people know him for.
Yeah.
Because like Dexter's Lab, like, he didn't create Dexter's Lab, right?
I don't think
he was just like the animator.
I think so.
Yeah, because that at least from my perspective right now, I think of Samurai Jack as like an auteur kind of situation where he was given free reign, and Dexter's Laboratory was like, we want to make a cartoon about a kid who has a laboratory.
They'll tie back into this in just a second. So they just revealed New York Comic Con a season 3 of this, and it's been a little while. This thing started in 2019, I think, and then you followed it up pretty quick. I don't know if it's 2020 or 2021, and it kind of disappeared. And I guess you kind of thought it was done by the way it ended. It is the story of no dialogue in this thing at all. It's a story of a Neanderthal named Spear and how he befriends I guess it's a T-Rex. It's a T-Rex-ish dinosaur. Maybe something smaller like an Allosaurus or something. I don't know that I've ever actually bothered to even look on that. And they sort of become sort of like a man and dog kind of thing. Don't trust each other, but eventually do, and kind of start to navigate through this world and get attacked by everything. It's just a lot of just monster movie cartoon stuff.
A lot of cool visuals.
Yeah.
And like set pieces too. Like,
yeah.
Like almost like he had this idea for this particular frame and he had to lead into it.
Yes.
Yeah.
The majority of the first season is just kind of the adventures of Spear and Fang. And at the very end of it, they introduce a third character named Mira, who is like an Egyptian slave, I would guess, by the way that she's dressed, or North African. Okay. And kind of get you into more story. And it's kind of where it starts to reveal that this dude wasn't just drawing cartoons. He actually has done some historical research and was kind of tying the end of Primal Man that we're still wondering and stuff as it started to kind of clash with Northern African civilization, early Egyptian stuff, and European and Scandinavian stuff.
There were no cavemen with dinosaurs.
Yeah.
He went out a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I guess that's the
concession.
That's the concession on that one.
Yeah.
The second one, you find out that this girl Mira was basically enslaved by these Vikings, and it's kind of cool because you're like, I don't know if he went into researching it or not, or if he just wrote this story and didn't really care about locations of things. You ever heard of Thor?
Thor, yes. No.
Heyrendal?
No.
The Kon-Tiki guy? No. Archaeologist, that his theory was that there's all these like historical archaeological things that were found like in the Philippines and in like the Pacific that were like South American. And they were like, he wanted to test this theory that some of these folks on the western coast of South America built these boats and sailed to the South Pacific. And up until then, it was these two separate cultures. All these people down in the South Pacific migrated down from Central Asia and all this. But he'd seen all these like commonalities between artifacts and structures and things that were like, that looks like the stuff that's in Brazil.
Right.
It's like, how is that over here? And he actually went on an expedition where he built the boat the way they built it and sailed there to prove that.
That's awesome.
And
that's awesome.
That doesn't tie into this exactly, but one of his other theories is that Vikings are always thought of as Scandinavian, but he found Viking relics and things in like Russia and Azerbaijan, which is down, if you know your maps, getting down closer to the Middle East and North Africa.
Well, I don't know if I've ever really thought about this before, but like my basic assumption was that the way humans migrated was like from Africa down like through the Middle East to India, then like they kind of wrapped around up through China, then through Russia, and then went into Europe.
Yeah.
So that's where Russians are lighter skinned, and then Europeans are lighter skinned. I think that's kind of where I always assumed.
The theories that he was putting out for this part that kind of ties to this is that Vikings are basically just Russians and Azerbaijani from those mountains that went northwest, and that's not the original school of thought on that at all.
Oh, really?
And I thought that was interesting because in this thing, Mira, the northern Egyptian, she's enslaved by these really early versions of Vikings.
Okay.
Very primitive towns, not the way that we see Vikings, but look like them, kind of had those little small villages, still very primitive language. So I don't know if that's a thing that he tried to base any of this on or not. I just thought that was a cool little side note to it. And the idea from there is that the Spear and Fang see this girl, they pursue her, try to get her freed, encounter these Viking peoples, fight them, kill like the chief's son. The chief goes to Hades basically and makes a deal with him to give him like this immense power to come back and get revenge on his son or for his son.
Okay.
In the meantime, the Egyptian queen that is enslaving all these people catch Spear and Fang and enslave them and basically make them be warriors for them as they invade and conquer all of North Africa and all this stuff. And then it comes back around to this Viking demigod comes back to fight them. That's kind of how the second season ends up. And it's not really a spoiler because the whole premise of what they showed at New York Comic Con spoils it for you. At the end of season 2, Spear is killed.
Ooh.
And one of the final acts is that he and Mira.
That's why you thought maybe it was done.
Yeah. While he's like all burned and dying, he and Mira mate and he impregnates her.
Oh.
And she gives birth to this like little half Egyptian, half Neanderthal like looking cave girl. And they end up with showing her several years into the future, kind of as a young teen, whatever, riding one of the dinosaurs' babies.
Okay.
And you're thinking like, well, the next season will obviously be this story about her. I haven't confirmed this. I haven't done any research, but I don't think that's what Genndy wanted to do with the show. I think that's why he was off so long. It's the same thing that happened with Symbiotic Titan. He wanted to keep making it. He kind of fell out with Cartoon Network back then. Disappeared for a while. I think, seems to me that Cartoon Network probably wanted him to make a girl show out of his show.
Yeah.
And he went ahead and complied with them to finish that season and then just stepped away and said, screw it, I'm not doing this anymore. They came crawling back to him a second time to come back and make more content for them because he's apparently the only creative person that they know that can make anything that doesn't suck. And he's like, I'll come back if I get to do what I want. And they're like, please come back. So he's going to bring Spear back as a zombie.
Okay.
And I think that was, he's like, fans love these characters. I heard him talk at New York Comic Con. I wasn't there. I just saw the clip of him. That fans are really endeared to these characters, and it was a mistake to kill them off. So I'm gonna bring them back, and you can see in the footage,
bringing him back.
He's brought him back as a zombie. I'm assuming that Fang or Fang's little dinosaur kids will probably try to follow him at a distance and maybe still interact with him, even though he's kind of a mindless zombie at this point. There's got some crazy visuals in the trailer. You can see like that little half picture where he's like wandering in like some kind of wasteland, and there's like this fly that's the size of a small airplane. I don't know. That might be a dream sequence. That might be something real. I don't know, but
could be the spirit that brings him back to life.
It could be. It might be sort of a. There's a series of episodes, or there's an episode in the first season of these witches that have all this like supernatural stuff where they're stealing the soul out of these guys that they take prisoner, and I think they're kind of necromancing this being and stuff. So there's definitely a lot of supernatural stuff. I think it's kind of whatever he wants to write, he writes. He makes it work, and it's fun. It's a really fun show to watch, and
I think media succeeds. And if what you're saying is kind of how it went, I'm in full support of this third season. Yeah. Just on principle, I think media succeeds when the creative person is allowed to do what they want.
Yeah.
and it's one of those situations where it's like, well, okay, the studio that is backing him, if the studio doesn't want that, then don't back him.
Yeah.
That's just long. Don't try to change what they want to do. Just say no, thank you.
It completely sounds like a 2020, 2021 thing to have people at Cartoon Network come in, take his property and say, we can't have this guy anymore. We need you. Let's kill the guy off and let's replace him with a young, cool girl. And let's make a show about this cool young girl and two baby dinosaurs having fun adventures. And I'm like, okay, I might watch a little bit of that, but probably not going to stick with that very long. And my guess would be that would be the feedback that they've gotten. And I think he does like to sort of throw the fans at the network a little bit, because I think we just saw that in the last time. He's got an idea for this Black Knight thing, and instead of even going through the studio, he just produced a little bit of it and put it.
He was like,
there.
"Here's what I want to do," and then let the fans roar about
it. Put it out there, and if the fans want it, then you can answer the call or you cannot. And I guess either way, I'm sure at this point he has enough money that I like a guy like that. That's just like, yeah,
FU money. That's what it's called.
If you don't want me to do it, then fine. I got other stuff to do. Right. So yeah, I'm interested to see how they work that in. I could see it being a season with some flashbacks and stuff, maybe to fill in just him wandering around. But the stuff they show in the in the trailer, it's over the top. Like most of the previous seasons are the same way. The violence is just there's a scene in one of their, I think it's in the first season, where he's attacking. I guess they're trying to get like a mammoth to eat, and there's a giant mammoth, and he's jumps on this like mammoth with like a rock, and it's just like pounding it in the eye, and it's hyper violent stuff. He has to fight basically like an arena fight, this giant gorilla, and I guess it's towards the end of the first season, and it's when you get into the part where he's kind of enslaved, and they're using him as like a warrior to sort of lead these invasions for this Egyptian queen. I mean, he's riding on like an armored spear, and he's going through and just ripping people apart, and the dinosaurs just biting people's limbs off and stuff, and it's pretty crazy. But
I like how I was specifically thinking of Samurai Jack and Primal. I like these worlds that he's creates that are almost like a blend of eras, and it has this timeless quality to it.
It seems like there's parts of it feels like he's done some research, and he's basing it on this like little brief time where these cultures kind of intersected with each other before they wiped each other out. And that's interesting to me. I'd love to hear him talk about that. But then he'll freely throw in, here's some witches that are going to bring this like deer demon in. So there's lots of supernatural stuff there too. It's a very fun show. I think they were 2 seasons, 20 episodes total in the first 2, so it's 10 episodes a season. So I'm assuming that will be what's coming this time around as well. So, and they were releasing those guys on Adult Swim before. So I think when it does come out, it's supposed to be in January, I believe, it will get that weekly release on Adult Swim, which I don't know if it'll be after. I'm sure it's after midnight. Probably has to be after midnight because of the content of the show.
I forget that cable channel still exists.
I just flipped around and was seeing if there was anything interesting on Cartoon Network to stay up for the last time we were in the hotel. Have you seen that Uza Kami, that like weird Japanese horror thing?
Oh yeah, it's by goodness, I forget his name.
It starts at like 1:00, and there was another anime on before it. I'm just like, we're having to get up in the morning and go back in and set up and open up for the show each day. I'm like, I kind of like to stay up and watch it. But
yeah, I've read a couple of his books. His I don't know if you would call them graphic novels or what, but it's like a collection of short stories, horror stories.
They're interesting looking. I have no idea what they're about. Now I'll try to track those things down sometime, but I guess I think there's an Adult Swim app last time I checked that when they're releasing something new like Primal, I think the new episode will be on there for like a week and then it gets locked and you have to subscribe to get it or something.
Yeah.
So because it's on cable TV, apparently it's free to watch, but you have to stay on top of it to watch it and watch it that week, I guess.
This is, I've mentioned this to you before. This is where I first learned of Uzakami. Was this? It was made for me. This is my hole. It's like a outline of a man and it's like a hole in a rock, and he's climbing into it, and then the hole like gets smaller and smaller as he goes down inside the hole, so he gets all squished. That was like the first thing I learned of him, and I was like, that's disturbing. I want to know more.
There's some Japanese horror stuff in real film and also in anime that is just a little bit further down the road than I want to drive.
Yeah. You see they go in the hole and they're all squished.
Yeah. You get into Japanese horror films like Audition and things like that.
Audition was like ding, 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 ding.
I'm like, I watched that one time just because it was one of those things.
Who's that in the bag?
You had this. You had people were like, "Yeah, I dare you to watch it." I'm like, "Yeah, no, you don't dare me to do anything, dude. Give me the movie." But yeah, I watched it and I was like, "Man, I never want to see that again."
We were talking about things that disturb you and hang on to you. Some of that stuff.
Yeah, there's things like The Empty Man that are a well put together story that are disturbing.
Yeah.
Something like Audition is like, this is just an hour and a half of we're just really trying to make you sick.
Well, movies like Audition is like The Empty Man, the themes in The Empty Man, like someone who is secular would just see that as just pure fiction.
Yeah.
But like Audition, like that could just literally happen. Like no one can deny that situation could exist in the world. It doesn't require any kind of belief in spirituality or a spirit realm or anything like that. It's just evil people.
I can take torture in the context of a military story where they're trying to get somebody to give up some information. Torture where she's just getting revenge for 45 minutes. That's too much. Yeah, this is Primal.
Mm-hmm.
Couldn't think of the name for a second. Season 3 of Primal. It's coming around here pretty quick. Be here in January, so I will be able to report on it before too long into next year. I will try to track that down as it comes out. So,
all right. Well, this next one, I think it's Virgin Punk. Let's watch the trailer for it.
Okay.
And we'll be back. All right, so the first trailer I brought for our desserts is Virgin Punk.
Yes.
Okay. I had never really even heard of this before.
I had not seen it either. And the next one I'm going to talk about, the very first opening scene of that, I thought maybe it was the same director, but that was not. The animation style looked very Satoshi Kon.
Yeah, I don't know who's making it. Let's see.
I was looking for that name as it scrolled through. Directed by and all that stuff. I did not see him, but it also looks like could very easily be
Yasuomi Umetsu.
Yeah.
Let's see what else he did. I'm very easy to please when it comes to like titles of things. Something punk. I'm gonna at least get you got my attention.
Yeah. Well, when you do punk,
something punk.
I'm assuming it's going to be a cyberpunk something,
mm-hmm.
and that definitely seems like there's part of that.
Yeah, it's like got cyberpunk flair, but like Victorian style.
Yes,
which is cool. You don't really see that a lot.
There was like a guy that had a different colored eye, and he was like using it to like access a computer or something. It looked like, and so there's maybe some cyber enhanced people or something like that, but. I feel like it's basically a sort of like an assassin's tale.
Yeah, it kind of seems like that.
Maybe not quite. Yeah, the first thing that kind of came to mind watching the trailer was a little bit of sort of like a Kill Bill
mm-hmm.
type thing, but not exactly that. Maybe what's the other? I think we said something about it when we were talking about one of the times before about the Bridget Fonda assassin movie, The Point of No Return.
Point of No Return, yeah.
That was based on Femme Nikita.
La right? Femme Nikita.
Yeah,
you're right.
Some vibes from that, definitely in this as well.
Well, it looks like he hasn't done a lot that I'm aware of. Like I know of Kite, Mezzo Forte.
I know those names. I have not seen them, so I don't.
Yep. Yeah, so I'm interested in seeing it. I think
I've watched a little bit of the animated Dante's Inferno.
Yeah.
Don't know if that's directly what he did, but yeah.
Dante's Inferno is one of those series that I like on principle. Like I'm like, hey, this is cool, but yeah. But it looks like it's coming to the theater. It's going to be a theater release instead of a straight to Crunchyroll, I guess.
Yeah. I'm all for if we can't get anything good from Hollywood on anything that's worth going to go see other than the occasional horror movie, which isn't going to grab such a big audience because there's a lot of people that just won't go see them. I'm fine if they keep on dipping into the anime well, as long as they don't pollute it.
Yeah.
If you want to bring us the Japanese stuff and let us see it, that's fine. Stay out of it. Don't infect it the same way you infected everything else.
Steam Boy, that was one of the ones I like. Steam Boy and Metropolis, like those two things, or those two are, I feel like they're kind of evoked in the style of this.
Yeah.
And there was a series I watched years ago called Gunslinger Girl. Kind of made me think of that too. They're just trained assassins.
Yeah. I don't know if I was trying to find that for somebody. It seemed like I maybe found a copy of that for somebody else, but I've still never watched it. And that kind of stuff always kind of ties back to me too, to the Ghost in the Shell stuff.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't look like it's all the way Ghost in the Shell super futuristic, but definitely some of that kind of stuff mixed in. It kind of looked like maybe she stumbles out of a thing at the beginning of the trailer.
It's like in a hospital or something.
Maybe. Yeah. Maybe she's created, or maybe she was saved and modified, or something.
I was thinking maybe something like to evoke Marvel here, like the Black Widow program, where they're like trained or brainwashed to be an assassin of some sort.
That's very Femme Nikita.
Yeah. Oh yeah. All right. Well, I'll let you know if I go to see it in the theater, and if you want to come along.
It said November the 11th.
November the 11th.
Was it? I wonder if it's going to be just like a limited release, or if they'll just throw it out there and see how long it stays. Because again, it's not going to be up against much of anything.
I wouldn't be surprised if it was a Fathom event at Regal.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Mm-hmm. Maybe Regal and other places will learn to stop just doing those as like this little limited event and just put them in the theaters and let people see them. But
let's see. According to Fandango, on the 11th, it is only in. Yeah, it's in Regal.
Yeah. So
it is a Fathom event, and you see, it's that kind of stuff that prevents me from signing back up for their whole limited thing because these things aren't included, and I will not pay for a subscription and then pay for content. And I'm going to do one or the other.
Yeah, there's no reason to not include that in that. How many people pay for that and probably don't even go at all that month?
Yeah. So
they're getting free income.
Well, I'll have to double check on this because according to this, it's English subtitles, Japanese language, and the whole. I thought the whole reason for. Oh, okay, on the 13th it's dubbed.
Yeah. So I think they tend to do that even with the Ghibli movies. They'll give you one night of dubbed and one night of subs, so you can choose which way you want to go see it.
The 13th. What day of the week is that? Because I know midweek works best for you. That's a Thursday. We'll see.
We might be able to get to it.
I don't know.
If the next couple shows we do aren't any better than the last couple shows that we've done, I might not.
Maybe not.
I might not be able to afford to go see a movie.
Right.
I have to go sit in the parking lot and let you text me what happens. It sounds cool.
Sounds cool. All right. So the next one is this a series?
This is the only, as far as I know, the only series this guy's ever done. Everything else has been film.
Okay.
This is Satoshi Kon, the guy who did Perfect Blue.
Oh, okay. And that piques my interest.
Yes, that's what piqued mine. I remember when I was kind of first discovered Perfect Blue and I think Paprika, and then I kind of went back and found the others like Millennium Actress and Tokyo Godfathers, and started to connect. This was all the same guy, same anime style, same kind of really interesting storytelling. Some of it's, I mean, a lot of people say that a lot of Silence of the Lambs was taken from Perfect Blue. That he kind of came up with the idea of Buffalo Bill.
Yeah.
And I don't know the ins and outs of all of what's right on that. I just hear things. I don't have time to chase every little rabbit down every hole that runs out. But
there's a concept of like parallel creation that I think happens a lot. Kind of like the 13th floor in Dark City and the Matrix.
Yeah.
Like they all kind of touch on similar themes, and it's not that they were aping off of one another. It's just they were all kind of inspired by the same culture.
This was 2004, so it's been almost it's been over 20 years.
Wait, Paranoia Agent?
Yes.
Oh wow, okay. It's amazing how media can just like not get anywhere near you.
13 episodes, and I think the reason that it did not get near us is that I can't remember if it was Cartoon Network or somebody that was trying to show it, or maybe Sci-Fi Channel or somebody, but it got banned in several countries.
Why was it banned?
I think because of some of the acts of violence that occur. And the idea is that there's this serial attacker that exists in Japan. Yeah, I think it's not so much about him. It's about how the society reacts to it. And I think even we watched a little trailer on it, kind of play with the idea of, is it actually a real thing, or is it not even, does he not even exist? And as people are scared of this thing that may or may not be out there, and how they start to be paranoid of each other and paranoid of everything else. You know, I think in a trailer shows like a lady going down an alley and seeing a little old lady like picking up the trash, and she's looking over her shoulder and the lady's gone, and she just starts running. And it's like, maybe the lady just went inside. You know, but how like a sort of a national thing, like a serial killer or a serial attacker, you know, we had that in reality here. It's I don't remember the years of the dude that was in the blue Caprice that was like just shooting at people on the interstate. I don't know if you remember that or not, but
was that, I mean, that was like within the past 15 years or so, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's been, I think I was still an officer at the time that happened.
So 20 years.
maybe it was right after that. Maybe just when I first left that. I don't remember.
Okay.
But you get to the point that somebody says you got to watch out for like a blue car or a white van, and all of a sudden you start looking around and there's white vans everywhere, and you're like, man, any of these could be them. Intrigued by the idea, just that general idea. Way more intrigued once I've learned that Satoshi Kon is in it. And the reason I'm coming back around to it is we are now accessing Crunchyroll, because I think I'm just going to do that for a while and just get rid of everything else because I'm just wasting time on everything else, because I'm just watching on Hulu. I'm watching reruns of Home Improvement and Wonder Years, and you know, it's just not, that's not worth paying for a service. I've seen those things. I grew up on those things. I'm just using that to waste time. I'd rather watch something new, and anime seems to be the only place that can give that to me. And so if I still had Shudder, I'd be doing that as well, but I'm not going to pay AMC for Shudder, and I'm not sure if you can get it any other way. So, and that's just a pure objection at this point to what they did to The Walking Dead. I don't want them to have any of my money. That's,
I'm kind of feeling you on that with the Crunchyroll. There was a film. I'm trying to remember. I don't even remember what it was called. I should have written it down. There was a film that I saw that I was like, it looks really cool, and it was like had knights and stuff in it. And the only place it was that existed was Crunchyroll. And I was like, man, at some point I'm going to have to sign up for Crunchyroll at some point.
There's these genres of anime. There's things with knights in that era. There's always things with sort of witches and academies, sort of like almost Harry Potter spawned things. Mm-hmm. And then there's always things with like trolls and dungeons, more like a Dungeons and Dragons kind of thing. And then there's always these sort of superhero or one guy has power kind of things. There's these little genres, and there's a lot of lot of properties in all of those categories. Again, if you like any of that stuff, I really get into anime that kind of delves into something that's kind of historical, and but I like monsters and I like mech stuff. So there's just I have a list of things that's getting longer and longer that I keep seeing on Crunchyroll and adding to my list. And I'm not doing that on any other service at all right now. I'm just like I flip through services for 30 minutes and get to the point that it's like I don't even remember seeing anything at the start that I wanted to watch. And that's our entertainment for the evening, is just flipping through and looking at what we're not going to watch. We'll flip for 30 minutes and not watch anything and just turn the TV off and say screw it.
We might actually watch this. I'm on Crunchyroll News. We might actually watch this here after we record. It looks like a trailer for All You Need Is Kill, which is the day after tomorrow.
Oh yeah,
Tom Cruise film.
Oh,
it looks like they've made an animation.
Well, there you go. I could not remember the name. We were talking about that earlier. I remember holding the book and just whatever. I think I might have been coaching one of the kids' seasons or something. One of the kids playing basketball or baseball or something when you gave me the book, and I took it home, and it was like, I think I saw you again at work and like, hey, did you get to try the book? I'm like, I forgot I had the book.
You still have it?
No, I gave it back to you.
I have it.
Yeah.
Oh.
You still have it. I gave it back to you. It's like, dude, I'm not going to have time to read this.
Well, let me know when you want it back. I'll have to find it.
Yeah.
It's on one of my shelves.
Yeah. Yeah, Paranoia Agent is, if you haven't seen anything to Satoshi Kon, again, it's not that it's not an entry-level anime. It's definitely an 18 plus anime. He makes animation films for adults. And
well, I've told you before that Perfect Blue is one of those anime properties that I will recommend to someone who isn't into anime, because it's a film that could have very easily been made live action.
Yeah, and Paprika is the film Inception.
Yeah.
Christopher Nolan, and I always forget to ever go back and look and see if he ever even acknowledges that he just stole that idea. And I'm pretty sure he didn't acknowledge that at all in that film. So there are some scenes there that are almost shot for shot in Inception that happen in Paprika. It doesn't end in the same place, but it's he seems to think that nobody else realizes that Japan is a place that makes movies, because he was not shy about just.
Well, unfortunately, America specifically, but the West as a whole, we're pretty insular, where we like things to be made for us, by us, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So you'll always get, and we've talked about this before, you'll always get American versions of things just because that's what appeals to us.
Yeah.
And that's reality. You can criticize that if you want, but that's just how it is.
Yeah.
But I definitely, just from the trailer, the sense of paranoia, like I feel like this is one of those films, and Perfect Blue gets there too, or one of those shows where I might have to stop it. Like it might itch at me to where I have to, okay, let me pause it for a minute and take a breath.
Yeah. No, he's very good at making things that are psychologically disturbing, not so much as visual, like some of the other things that we've been talking about,
and we'll talk about in a minute.
And to that extent, kind of like the Empty Man, it's not. There's some very disturbing visual things there that happen, but it really is more when you think about it afterwards, where you're like, like that's not good. Let's stop thinking about that.
All right. And when where you said you're gonna watch this on Crunchyroll? Is that where it's available?
I've got a bunch of other stuff that I can throw on this list of things that I'm getting ready to watch, but Paranoia Agent is next.
Okay.
Because I'm kind of afraid with it being an older property, and that it was kind of unavailable for a little while. I think for whatever reasons it was banned and edited and stuff like that.
Do you know if it's edited in any way on Crunchyroll?
I don't know,
because Crunchyroll is owned by Sony.
Yeah.
And Sony is pretty censorious, so it literally could go either way. Like I wouldn't be surprised if it was, but also I am hoping it's not.
I want to catch it while it's there. It's just like I saw on YouTube the other day that Falling Down was on it, and I was like, I'm stopping what I'm doing today and watching that.
On what?
On YouTube.
Oh, okay. I thought you Hey man, Crunchyroll. I was like, why is it falling down on Crunchyroll?
No, it's on YouTube, like free movies on YouTube.
Oh, cool. Okay.
And I'm watching that this afternoon because I don't know if it'll be there next week. Because
right.
that kind of stuff moves off and on all the time. So that's kind of my paranoia for Paranoia Agent is that it might not stay there. So I want to watch it while it's there. I don't know if there's. I need to look on Crunchyroll if any of Khan's other works are there. I don't know if they have rights to all of it or what. So
okay, well the AI overview says no Crunchyroll version of Paranoia Agent is not censored, and then I see a Crunchyroll Reddit from 8 months ago, and it says Crunchyroll doesn't censor anything. I don't know if they're talking. This person was talking generally, so maybe
I think the idea of the thing that everybody's paranoid of as a serial attacker is like this little
kid, right?
Like a young teen with a bat that just shows up and attacks people.
Yeah.
And maybe it's the idea of somebody fighting with a young child. 13 is a child to me.
Well, that's generally if things get censored in translation from Japanese media to Western media, it's when it involves underage people.
Yeah.
That's when the West is like, slow down.
Yeah.
And what we consider underage, what Japan considers underage, is generally a couple of years apart.
Yeah.
So like they might see a 13-year-old and think that like the maturity they would imply on the 13-year-old is different than what we would. Because for us 13, you're still a kid, man.
13-year-old in Japan, you're walking down to the train stop and getting on a train, taking it to your school.
Well, we talked about
picking up groceries on the way back home for your parents. I mean,
you've got responsibilities.
You're expected to actually be a functioning person over there, not just hanging out in your parents' house until you're 38.
Well, we had talked about Apt's pupil, and in the short story, the kid is like a preteen. He's like 10 or 11 years old.
Yeah.
But in the movie version, they up him age like 16.
Yeah.
Because like it's a lot more uncomfortable to have a Haley Joel Osment in his prime, forcing a old German man to prance around in his Nazi uniform. That's more uncomfortable.
We could get back into some Stephen King later, but always loved in Pet Sematary. The little kid that comes back, I cannot remember his name, he comes back as a little monster, and he's like he's the killer for the rest of the movie.
Yeah.
Cutting a dude's ankle and across the face and like attacking everybody, and he's like this little kid. It's like, man, that's disturbing.
I've always thought it was even just the concept of a child being in a movie that they can't watch or they're not supposed to watch according to the rating has always intrigued me.
Yeah. There had to be like a little person, tiny person in Hollywood that dressed up like that kid, because you could not put that child through that.
But similarly to Perfect Blue, where I say I think Perfect Blue is better in animation than it would be in live action, because you don't have to have a person acting out those things. I haven't seen Paranoia Agent, obviously, but if you have this child going around killing people with a bat, okay, animate that. Don't have a kid play that out. That's
dream sequences and hallucination type things kind of happen in a lot of Khan's things. You see that second picture that we have there. It's all these people like they're passed out around this giant pink puppy dog doll. I'm not even sure what that's supposed to be. That's the kind of stuff that anime can just portray, that there's no other way to portray it. And if you want the truest form of that, while we're on the topic of this director, watch Paprika.
Mm-hmm.
There's so much in Paprika. Maybe the only film I can think that has that kind of level of stuff that there's just no other way you can do it would maybe be what's the movie with the red bike that we went to go see in the re-release in the theater?
Movie with the red bike?
Yeah, the anime.
Akira. Oh, okay. All right, the motorcycle.
Yeah.
Yeah,
the red motorcycle. Some of the parts of that with those like big babies and stuff.
Yeah.
There's no way to do that in a live action film
and it not look goofy.
Yeah.
I was imagining, you said red bike, I was imagining like a tricycle. Ding ding. Yeah. Tatsuo.
The cool red bike. Ding ding. Yeah, there's things that anime can just do that no other medium can. So
especially for the price.
Yes.
Okay, complete aside that large stuffed dog made me think of this. Have you ever seen Death to Smoochie?
No, I have not. I love Robin Williams, and
yeah. I think is that Edward Norton as well? Is that Robin? Who else is in it? Oh, sorry.
There was this kind of period like after Toys where he did this stuff that it just seemed like he was kind of flailing.
Yeah,
and it seemed
Edward
like
Norton.
that kind of came out in that same period, and I'm like, I don't want to watch this guy like fall apart and fail.
No, you see,
he's one of my favorite actors. I don't want to see this.
I feel like Toys, 1 Hour Photo, Death to Smoochie. Like I love all of it. I feel like my favorite films of Robin Williams are the ones that people don't like.
I love 1 Hour Photo.
This is great.
I'll have to try it.
It's weird.
Yeah.
But it's great.
Yeah.
It has. This is one of those like, hey, I know her. When you see her, this woman.
It's China Beach. What's her
name? Catherine Kenner.
Yeah.
Yeah, she plays in it.
Yeah.
And I know her from John Malkovich. What's that movie? Being John Malkovich.
Makes sense. I have not.
What? Okay, sorry. This is.
You kind of get into those movies where it's like, I'm gonna make a movie about myself.
Yeah.
I already have kind of a little bit of a disdain for celebrities and stuff, and to me, that was just one of those things. Like I don't have any interest.
Do you know the premise of Being John Malkovich? Okay, I just want to tell you the premise because you find this out early. This man who's a puppeteer, is not really successful, gets a temp job in this office building, and behind a filing cabinet he finds a little door, and when he climbs in a little door, he becomes John Malkovich.
Okay.
It's weird, but it's great. It's great. Oh, that's one of my favorite films, man.
It's kind of like that, The Mandalorian with Nick Cage, whatever that movie is, the pursuit of being me or whatever.
yeah. The oh goodness, the terrible weight of massive talent or something.
That one.
Yeah.
It's like I like Nick Cage. Yeah. I don't like the other dude. It's just gonna be a movie about how funny these two guys are together. I'm like, I'm a pass.
Well, Nick Cage does so much that you can just pass by some of the stuff he does. He's very prolific.
I got enough anime to watch.
that too, and that was one of the things when I was saying how I was flipping through like the Hulu and Netflix and stuff, and I was like, I don't want to watch any of this, but it was also that thing where you get overwhelmed by choice, where it's not just I don't want to watch it. It's there's so much I don't know what to watch. Like I don't know 99% of the stuff that's out there. It's amazing how many movies get produced.
Yeah,
it really is. Anime is the same way. So much anime gets produced. Ridiculous.
Yeah, flipping through Crunchyroll, there's just series after series. I'm like, I've never heard of that. I'm not even gonna try. I'm gonna chase the stuff down that I want to see, and if there's any years left in my life after I've done that, I'll go back and see what else there is.
we have in our culture now, we have almost like a brain rot with all the media that we have available to us. Yeah. And I've heard of people. First, I heard of people doing this like with podcasts and audiobooks where they like play it at a higher speed so you can get through it faster. And I've heard people doing it with anime. And I'm like, no, that's
you're not enjoying
you're ruining it.
You're just,
you're consuming with 2 O's. Consuming.
There's a group of people that you have to make sure that I've seen this so you can participate with them. And that's not the point of it.
And one of the things it was the reason why I stopped watching War Against Everyone or whatever. I like schlock. I like movie like low grade, B grade movies and stuff. But at some point, it's like, well, what are you going to spend your time watching? Do you want to watch something that's like of high quality, like The Empty Man, something that's high quality and thoughtful, or do you want to watch something that's like a rented werewolf suit that they rented out for the weekend and made a movie with?
Yeah.
And sometimes that's what you want. Sometimes that is what you want.
Every once in a while.
Every once in a while. Speaking of every once in a while, Psycho Killer. I had never heard of this film.
I'm trying to remember on the trailers. This was not the same Raimi one.
No.
Okay.
This was the one of the cops.
This is the
woman. Yeah, the woman who it appeared that she and her husband were both cops and they're partners, which is a no-go anyway.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
Her husband got killed.
That's
and
the absolute worst scenario I could think of.
Yeah,
putting a husband and a wife in a police car together.
And this is one of those films, because after I saw it, it's visceral. That is definitely the word I would use for this. It seems like it would disturb you.
Yeah.
It seems like a disturbing film. And it came up and it was like, okay, first of all, I hate this trend of saying from the twisted mind or the demented mind of. Just say who it is. You don't have to tell me what I should think about them.
What I was thinking when I saw that is that I think they realized they're almost over the target with Barbarian. And what was the thing about the kids that ran off?
What weapons?
Weapons, but they know those were misses. That it's sort of we need to strike again while we have everybody's attention. And that kind of seems like maybe this is you're at bat and you've got 2 strikes on you and you need to come back and get a hit.
Now I think it might be produced like the because it said like it referenced like Barbarian and stuff. I think it might be produced by the same guy.
Yeah.
I don't. Yeah, it's one of the producers of Barbarian.
Okay.
But after looking a little more into it, what attracts me to this film, I think it might be a little beyond my line of comfort because it seems like there's some pretty disturbing stuff in here.
Yeah.
But the pedigree of the people who worked on this film, I think, makes it worth it. 8mm. Have you ever seen that?
A while ago.
Okay, it produced.
Not one of those ones is like, hey, let's go watch that again.
Yeah, no, I'll never see it again. But the producer of 8mm, or the writer of 8mm, 8mm is definitely one of those. I don't regret watching it, but I will never recommend it to somebody. And it did bother me afterwards. Like that did stay with me for a little bit. Let's see this. The writer also wrote Seven. He wrote Sleepy Hollow. And I haven't seen Nerdland, Windfall, or The Wolfman. I haven't seen any of those. He was a script doctor for Event Horizon, The Game, Fight Club, and Stir of Echoes. All fantastic movies.
Yes.
All of them.
Yeah.
And the producer, let's see. Okay. I thought he was also involved in Seven, but maybe not.
Yeah.
Oh, he was also involved in Stir of Echoes. So it's like.
Well, I like to see that kind of effort though. If it's the same producer that did like Barbarian and Weapons and reaching out to like these are guys that are better at this than we are, bringing them in to be like, we had these 2 things that should have been hits and they were close to them and they just they fizzled and fans came out, but then they just they weren't the hits that we thought they were going to be. I like to see that they're actually trying to get there all the way, and whether or not that's taking you to a level of psycho depravity that's beyond those. But it's the horror genre. If you want to,
I mean, at some point,
you want to draw people in, you need to make. I'm talking about The Empty Man because I watched it and I was like, wow, okay, that's disturbing, and that's a. It's not like I don't want to say that's a good thing, but it is an attraction to me because I want to go ride the roller coaster that's bigger than the last one that I rode. I don't want to go ride the kitty dragon one around. I'm watching horror movies for the thrill of it because I get the thrill from it, and then I'm done with it. And
I think with horror films specifically, but films in general, they're escapist fantasies, and I think. There's a part of us primally that, like back when we were still hunter-gatherers and stuff, I mean, there was a certain amount of fear that all humans lived with that we don't really live with anymore. Yeah. And I think sometimes we kind of want to touch back that fear.
I've said that when we were talking about The Empty Man, that I like to confront evil things because I like to be kept on my toes. Yeah. I like to know my enemy. I don't want to be surprised by it. And we won't go into detail. We were just in Baltimore walking around in just the limited places that we walked around. I'm very glad that I have that mindset because I was doing crazy Ivans the whole time we were there, because it was just a very uneasy, sketchy place. And my wife was not comfortable having to walk from point A to point B, and rightfully so. And I just can't imagine being oblivious to all that and walking down the street and what could happen to you. Can't say I could stop everything that would happen, but they would have to be very dedicated to what they were trying to do happening for it to happen to us. And
the director of Psycho Killer, this is his directorial debut. I was messing that up.
Sometimes that's the best.
He is a producer. It's kind of like we were talking about before. We're like the guy who made Empty Man. He was in the industry, and so he kind of got the knowledge and he was around it. And when he was like finally ready, he was like, okay, well here's what I can do.
We talked about Good Boy on desserts, and I could not get time to go get it. And I'm pretty sure it's out of theaters, so I'm gonna have to try to catch it.
No, it's like on Netflix now.
Yeah. It moved out pretty quickly because I didn't think that would have a huge audience. But everybody said that it was good, and that was that guy's first movie.
Yeah,
and I'd like to see new minds and new creative ideas.
But yeah, the director previously produced like Zombieland, both of them, The Stir of Echoes, 8mm. So so I'm happy to. I probably won't go to the theater to see it. I'll wait for it to come to streaming.
Not unless it's like the only thing in the theater on a week that I have a free day.
Yeah,
but the chances of that lining up is not very often for me.
Yeah, a movie has to have a certain special thing to drag me to the theater, I think. And the next thing I'm just going to continue on. This is something I'm really hoping to get to. And I'm saying I want to get to it to hopefully make me get to it. Is I borrowed Hellsing Ultimate from you.
Yes.
And I sat down, I was like, I'm going to watch this. And I thought, well, I should watch Hellsing first, like the original Hellsing, so I can kind of compare.
Yeah.
Because it's been 20 years at this point since I've seen Hellsing.
Yeah, it's definitely something you want to do in that order.
Yeah.
If you watched Hellsing Ultimate and then you went back and watched Hellsing, you'd probably be kind of bored by Hellsing.
Yeah.
But Hellsing's good. It's just, it's Hellsing's here. Hellsing Ultimate's up here. And not like in quality, just in what it throws at you. It's sensory overload in every sense of the word.
Absolutely. And I meant to bring it with me, but I didn't. This is one of those series that I bought back in the mid 2000s, early 2000s from the production company FX. And that was before I understood the bootleg industry. I was just like, these are great. They're anime for $20. And I was ordering all sorts of stuff, and this was one of the ones I ordered. And I still have them because, well, I'm not going to resell them.
That's the Hellsing?
Yeah, Hellsing, the original Hellsing, yeah. Because I'm not going to resell them because that's just perpetuating the bootleg.
Yeah.
And so my only other option is to throw them away. I'm like, I don't want to do that.
Yeah. I
don't know if I ever bought Hellsing on, because a lot of those FX, like Berserk and Excel Saga, I bought also on DVD. I don't know if I ever did Hellsing. I was looking through my collection. I only saw the FX one, so maybe that's something
I was trying to remember what you borrowed, because I knew that there was a
Hellsing
gap.
Ultimate.
I remember there was a gap over there. I'm like, what was that?
Yeah. So hopefully I'll bring those back the next time we get
Keep
together.
them as long as you need. Yeah. I was just trying to, my brain can't even say, well, there was something there. Couldn't remember what it was.
And similarly, I guess, you are going to be watching the Maxx.
Yes. We've mentioned it before. Mostly, I think, spawning out of talking about Midnight Mass. I think a little bit in Symbiotic Titan. That if you're just going to keep stuff locked up on services and not offer it to me, then I'm just going to go get bootlegs. Mm-hmm. And I hit the jackpot the other day. I wish I'd had more cash and had time to organize my thoughts, because I found one of the dealers at a show that had the stuff, and I got a copy of Midnight Mass. I'd sent you some requests, or to see if you had any requests.
Yeah, I'm going to talk about them in this.
And we'll get to those. Yeah. He had a couple of those. There were a couple that, when I mentioned them to him, he was like, well, I didn't know that's what that was. And he's like, I could get that. I think you said something about like the Young Americans.
Yeah, like Young Americans was a spin-off of Dawson's Creek.
He's like, I've seen that, but I didn't know it was Dawson's Creek. Yep. And I was like,
well, apparently, because when I first heard of the Young Americans and I looked into it, apparently there's some film called Young Americans or The Young American or something like that. That's like a gay love story. And I was like, I don't think that's the right one.
Yeah.
So it'd be funny if that's the one he gets. He'll be like, what? This is Dawson's Creek?
He's definitely older than me. So if he gets that and gets the wrong one, he'll be like, man, stay away from me. But I was back and forth this booth enough during that weekend that after I'd bought several things from him, I came back to get the Maxx. He said, dude, just take one.
Yeah.
And I was like, you sure? And I was like, he's like, yeah, man. And I was like, I am now indebted.
I remember like, getting Aeon.
If I had a bat signal that I could give you to wherever you need me, call. Yeah.
I remember around the same time I got the Aeon Flux like actual release, like they released Aeon Flux on like a collection. I got that, and then I wanted them because of that. I wanted the Maxx because that was all part of like that liquid television on MTV.
It was Oddities.
That's what it was called.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was a freshman in college when that started, so I don't know where would that have put you in that
middle school.
Yep. So I don't know if you were able to see that yet or not, but in between me struggling to get through the classwork at Washington Lee and the few times I would turn on TV late because I was just trying to wake back up to get back into trying to finish writing my 30-page essay on what caused the German parliament to do this in 1929.
And you actually had to write it and research it.
Yes.
You couldn't just type in
blue books.
Wait, you had to actually handwrite it.
Yeah, you had
to see, my college years was after that. Blue books was exclusively used for exams.
You would get to the point where it was like, yeah, you're sitting there at the table and falling forward and like, I got to wake up, turn on the TV. And I knew the first thing I saw was like a middle episode of Aeon Flux. I'm like, what on earth is this? Like, this looks really cool, but I have absolutely no idea what's coming on. And I remember like another night or maybe the next week or something, turned on the TV and I was thinking maybe I can see that show again with that, whatever that crazy thing was with that girl. And this was on. And I was like, what on earth is this?
In the world? What is that big purple guy doing?
It was like, he was fighting all these little white dudes and smashing them and stuff. And I was just like, man. And I over time, I think I don't know how we found it. At some point, Logan and I tried to watch it. Maybe it was on YouTube or something else, that maybe one of the apps or something. I cannot remember. And I think we tried to get through it and then it went away again. And I was like, dang it. I was like, I've never been able to actually watch it from start to finish.
There was a small period of time. I don't know if they still exist. I stopped looking for them. But there was a small period of time where there were like kind of like bootleg websites that would just have shows on it, and then the website would like have to change domains because they get in trouble. So it could have been something like that.
We might have been watching it like hooking a laptop up to the TV and watching it or something. I can't remember. But it came out in 1993. It actually, again, coming at it from the angle I came at, I never knew it was a comic. It was a comic that ran from 93 to 98, and there were 35 issues of it. Mm-hmm. And it really makes me want to, I'm sure it has to be in a collection or something.
I could let you borrow them.
Do you have, is it all in like a book, or are they all just individuals?
Yes is the answer to that question, because I keep all my comics in D-Rig binders. Okay. So yeah, they're individual issues.
I'd be curious to find like a...
Is there a Maxx collection?
Like a compendium. Because I like flipping through those. I don't care about messing.
Are there any... This was 2 years ago, someone asking any definitive collected edition of the Maxx. IDW, the Maxx Maximize is what it was called. 7 covers. So, kind of.
I always kind of wanted to do this because there were hints of it in the show. And I think from what I've heard, it's more detailed in the book. But the whole idea is that I don't remember what the girl character is.
Julie, right?
She's been like assaulted. Like physically assaulted, and she's still being stalked by the guy. Yes, kind of.
Yes,
or something.
I still question whether or not. What was he called? The Mr. Gone.
Mr. Gone.
I still question whether or not Mr. Gone actually exists. Okay. I think Mr. Gone existed. I don't know if in the story that you see in the Maxx, if he's real.
If it's
I
just
think it's just. I think
it's a bad memory.
Yeah, I wonder if it's a cycle. She's being haunted by her abuse.
I can never figure it out because I can never watch enough of it to get it. And I think obviously it's something in 1993 on MTV. If it was dealing with like a sexual assault, they're not gonna go but very deep into explaining that part of it. You could catch on pretty quick that the whole idea of the Maxx in this world where she was like a jungle princess and all these little white things, the Izzes was an imaginary sort of escape world. But again, my first exposure to that was when I was a freshman in college. Now I have a son that's getting ready to finish his doctorate.
That was a while ago.
Finish his doctorate. My daughter, if she had gone that way, would be a freshman in college as we speak. So,
I mean, there are so many things that I was fans of at one point, and I like collected it. I was like, okay, I've got all the pieces, and the Maxx is one of them. I've never read the whole thing. I don't know how far I read into it, but at one point because I remember getting a few issues back in the day, and then when I got back into comics, I got all the rest of the issues. Yeah. But I never like went back and just finished reading it.
I filled out G.I. Joe, and I've never read it all.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was just I want to fill it out, and I've always kind of thought that it'd be this time at some point in my old age that I'd be able to I need things to do where I get to sit back and put my feet up and sit with my dog all day. So I'll get a stack of comic books out and read through them. And it seems like the older I get, the more crap I have to do.
That's what it seems like, right?
If I just stayed at the railroad and gone and been miserable for another 20 years, then I'd be able to get to that day. But yeah, the Maxx is one of those things that has been with me for a long time. And it always was a cool image and a cool idea. And I'm going to sit down and just do that on a day once we get clear of shows for a few weeks and pull the beanbag around here and get a big Yeti cup of coffee and grab the dog and I'll watch the whole thing from start to finish.
It's a good, the cartoon is a easy binge.
Yeah.
All right. Anything more you want to say about the Maxx?
That's the Maxx. I don't have a lot of detailed memories of it. I have a lot of images of it, and I kind of remember a little bit of the storyline, but
okay. Well, I do want to mention that I remember reading this recently, and I wanted to share. This was back in January 14 and 24, so this is a little while ago. A movie based on the Maxx is reportedly moving forward with Paramount, with Channing Tatum to star
as the Maxx.
As the Maxx.
You could have anybody starring it as if you put in a suit.
I really hope. I don't know if this image that they have. I think that might be this image is a fan made web series, which I didn't know existed. It might be worth a shot, but the Maxx is so the design of the Maxx is so unusual. It kind of only works in animated form. Maybe if he was CG, but if like. This image of the fan-made version of the Maxx looks ridiculous.
And what are they going to do with the rest of the story? Are you gonna let a little white teenage girl go dress up as an African queen and run around? They're not going to do that. So then if you recast that to whatever race you want to do that, then you can't do that because that'd be feeding into stereotypes. So she'll have to go run around the desert or something.
The place that the Maxx goes to is based off of the Australian outback.
Okay.
So make Australian.
That's
close enough.
They can probably do that.
People might not get upset about that.
They'll find a reason.
Oh, I'm sure. Well,
she won't be.
Well, especially if she
won't be an indigenous Australian. They'll have to make her whatever the New Zealand tribes are. She'll have to do a waka. Every time something happens or something, I don't know.
Well,
my faith in anybody being able to do anything on like that is just like, no, just don't try to make that story because you won't do it. No, you won't do it right.
And again, I don't think everything needs to be live action. I understand the desire to make it live action because, hey, you can get the people who like this thing in the theater to pay you more money. I get that, but just leave it alone. I think the animation was fine. if they wanted to do like redo the animation, but keep the same style and maybe make more of the comic series, that'd be fine. I'd be fine with that. But we don't need a live action.
Easier to produce. I mean, that was probably the most popular thing that anybody's done here recently with Marvel. Is they went back and extended the
X-Men 97.
The X-Men 97, and people like that.
Have you seen any of that?
I watched a bit of an episode at somebody's Airbnb that we hit on the way to a show. I didn't have time, so I just skipped to an episode and just watched one, and it looked like it lined up with everything. It was cool, but I wasn't engaged into the story to really be into it. So
I have this issue where if there's media and there's something that came before it, I'm going to want to watch what came before it. So like if there's a video game sequel that looks cool, I'm going to want to play the first game.
Yeah.
And so like with X-Men 97, I want to watch it, but I haven't seen all of X-Men. So I want to watch all of X-Men before watching any of X-Men 97.
I swore up and down that we had the whole X-Men series. We have this thing, all I can find anyway, is we have this thing that was like pretty much the Adventures of Wolverine.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just a bunch of Wolverine episodes from the original series compiled onto a DVD.
They did that with a lot of cartoons from the 90s, like the Ninja Turtles. They'll have like the Pizzagate saga or something.
Yeah, and it was disappointing because I remember I was looking. I think it was when we saw the first trailers for the Pizzagate.
That's nothing. Sorry,
that's all right. I said Waka a little bit ago. What? Yeah. Isn't that supposed to be Haka?
Something like that.
I don't know. I don't do a dance before I get into a fight. I'm just like, you better run. That's my Haka. If I catch you, this is going to be bad. I swore I had that. I think it was when the 97 thing came out. I was like, I'll be cool to go back and watch it. And I dug through every corner of any place we've ever stuck a DVD in this house. And I was like, dang it, man, I have the whole like G.I. Joe series that I picked up. You know, you used to be able to walk into Best Buy and there was this nice DVD section, Blu-rays. They had a little anime section. They had collections of old TV series, and it always rotated. There'd be something new there.
I would go into Best Buy too. I would have a couple of spots and I would leave. I would go to the video game section. I'd look at the new hardware.
Yeah.
Then I'd go over to the DVDs and see what anime they got.
I'd pick up something almost every time there because if nothing else, there would be like a Ghibli there that we didn't own yet, but they were expensive. So I was like, let me see if they've got something else first. And if you couldn't find anything else, you just go pick up another Ghibli that you didn't own. Or Ghibli. I probably say that wrong, but I pride myself on mispronouncing things. Don't you dare try to correct me, because I'm stubborn. I won't listen. I'll mispronounce it on purpose.
That's how I say it. All right. So, unfortunately, you can, fortunately or unfortunately, or fortunately, depends on your perspective, you can watch them on Disney Plus, the old X-Men. And that's one of those things where trying to find the DVDs or whatever would just be prohibitively expensive. So, I mean, it's there. If you wanted to go through it.
I think I said it before. I didn't understand it at the time, and that was at Best Buy that you would see like a Disney movie. It's like last chance to get it before it's vaulted.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, what does that
mean? Vaulted?
Why are you going to vault it? And it's because they were hoarding it all to start this stupid streaming service, and now they've ruined it all.
Well, if I ever get the itch to watch the original X-Men series from the 90s, I'll see if I can get it somehow, like from eBay or Amazon or something.
I guarantee you, my hookup dude, I guarantee he can get you that.
Well,
it'll come on little like burnt DVDs with like magic marker writing on it and a poorly printed thing, but who cares? If it keeps it out of Disney's greedy little hands, then
they've got it.
Here we go. I'm never going to mention that dude's name. He's going to be my secret.
There you go. All right.
I feel like I'm smuggling like moonshine or something like I never used to do here. I never went to the office in dispatch with like 36 jugs of moonshine. Brought that up one time and somebody's like, hey, can you get me something of this? I was like, yeah, I can get you some. And then it was like, did you say that? And then it was like, by the time I left that office, I had like 30 orders. I drove back up the road in a Hyundai as the headlight went out when I started with like rattling jars of moonshine.
Oh no.
I was like,
of course the cops are going to stop me.
I'm going to get stopped. I've got a headlight out and I've got enough moonshine in here to like intoxicate the county, half of the county. It's like, good Lord. It's like, note to self. Be careful what you bring up at work.
Yeah. Speaking of work, segue to send help.
Send help. Yeah.
Yep. All right. So I told you there was one reason and one reason only I'm even bringing this up. You know why? Sam Raimi.
Oh, yeah.
Yep. This is by Sam Raimi. I didn't even look to see if did he write it? The Send Help film?
I do not know.
Let's check it out.
Look up something else.
I know it's at least like a part of his production company. And it was produced by Sam Raimi, but it was written by Mark Swift and Damien Shannon. So it's really just, he's putting it out there, putting his name on it to get some notoriety. And I love Sam Raimi. I will at least pay attention to anything he makes, anything he's involved with. And I loved Evil Dead was one of the first films that I kind of became like a cult follower of. And it's not even, for me, it's not even the sunk cost fallacy. It's that I trust what Sam Raimi does. So if he puts his name on it, there's at least something I'm interested in.
I don't think I follow him as devoutly as you do, but I'm of the same mindset that if I see his name, I'm kind of relieved to know that I'm at least watching something that's not going to waste my time.
Well, the trailer and the setup for this film, if I can flatly say, if Sam Raimi wasn't involved at all, if this was just some horror film, I probably wouldn't care. I'm assuming it's going to go places that we're not expecting. That's kind of what I'm assuming, because what we're shown in the trailer is almost the point to where it's so comically on the nose of what is like expected from modern Hollywood. It's like they've got to be subverting all that somehow. They've got to be.
No, it took me a minute to figure out, because I don't watch these movies. I could list these off: The Vow, About Time, Wedding Crashers, Sherlock Holmes, Disobedience, and of course The Notebook. I was like, why do I know her? It's from having to watch The Notebook.
Okay.
I don't know why people make movies like that.
Well, it's not for us.
I didn't dislike The Notebook. It was a good film, but it was just one of those things. It's like, man, it's like, I didn't sit down on the couch today to just feel like crap.
Hey, you know what? The Notebook gave us that meme. I think it was The Notebook. What do you want? I don't know. What do you want? I don't know. Right? That was The Notebook, right?
I really don't remember. It's almost like it's not traumatic.
It's a fever dream.
Things that I'm just like, I don't really want to go back watching these old people.
Yeah, Rachel McAdams, one of those actresses that I've seen in so many things like Sherlock Holmes, Wedding Crashers. I've seen those.
She's in Doctor Strange.
Doctor Strange. That's right. She was his love interest.
Yeah.
There was a movie called Game Night. Have you ever seen that?
No.
That's a fun film. Yeah. It's just with Bateman.
Oh, Jason Bateman.
Jason Bateman.
I was going to say Aston Kutcher.
Yeah.
Aston Kutcher.
She was in the Sherlock Holmes films. Yeah, she's definitely one of those actresses you've seen in things.
It's kind of funny. It's probably better even for me to just know her from The Notebook and then see her
and then
in like
see
this like horror slasher trapped on an island movie. And I don't think we watched the trailer. If you haven't seen it, for Send Help, she's like an older lady in an office full of young people and a young boss, and looks like she's about to have a psychiatric break from
the stress
of the job.
And the boss is just horrible. He's just a horrible person, horrible boss.
And they're going to one last chance to try to prove her that she deserves her job. So they fly to some meeting in Thailand or something, and they crash on the way. And just the boss and her survive the crash and are trapped on the island together.
And the boss seems like he got hurt, and she's kind of taking care of him.
He's like wounded, and he pretty much has to rely on her.
And the fact that he's like, I'm your boss, like on the island, hurt, relying on her, and he's like, you got to do what I say because I'm your boss. I'm like, come on.
I would have eaten him that night. I was like, no, we're not doing that. I'll work on hunting later.
Yeah, right. There you go.
I need to work on my butchering skills first.
But from just from the trailer, it seems like the idea is like, what if Castaway had two people? One of them went crazy. That's kind of what it seems like. So it's hey, you know what? Sure. I like the premise of like people are on an island, so they can't go anywhere. And
you ever see things you see online of like these people that pay thousands of dollars. It's always like kind of women that are in this age group to come out to the country and get sticks and like beat on the ground and scream.
Right. Dudes are doing that too. They're going to like a masculine retreat. So yeah.
Oh, we've got 40 acres here and a lot of sticks. I'm missing a business opportunity.
Dude, you seriously just come and punch the tree.
Yeah, but it's
that'll be $3,000.
Could probably work it out with the timing. It's like, just come fight the bear for the trash.
Right.
I wanted to stop, and I'm going to have to kill him. I'm just trying to not kill him out of season so I don't have to go to jail. Because that's all the crime that happens in this country that goes unpunished. I'll go outside and take a bear 2 days before the season starts, and I'll be in a jail for 35 years. But yeah, seems like
local man feeds outsiders to local bear.
Seems like she is like the sort of embodiment character of that group of people that are these like stressed out, lonely single people in cities that are just breaking down. And maybe going to an island and hunting be good therapy for them.
Right. And the last thing I wanted to talk about, and our last topic, is what you got me.
Yeah.
From
our hookup.
From the hookup. Got me EXO SQUAD and BattleTech.
Had no idea what these were. I asked him, and again, he's that old school guy that just, I guess, has known. Probably one of those people that got into anime before most people here even knew what anime is. Almost like Frank here in Roanoke.
Yeah.
If you want to talk about anime with Frank, just be ready to talk about anime with Frank, because Frank's seen it.
Frank will talk about anime.
He was there when it came out, and he knows more about that than I could probably ever forget. But same thing, this guy, I had no idea what these were. I was like, do you know? I think you said EXO SQUAD 2 seasons.
Yeah.
And I think is it EXO SQUAD 2? Is there seasons of it? And he's like, there's 2 seasons of EXO SQUAD. I'm like, well, yeah, that must be what he meant.
Yeah.
I didn't even know what it was.
Well,
and he was like, what's right here?
What it is EXO SQUAD, they release a DVD of season 1, never season 2. And that's like, I'm going to want to see both. If I go through the whole first season, I'm going to want to watch the second season. Yeah. And EXO SQUAD was one of those. This is a pure childhood nostalgia thing for me. I loved EXO SQUAD, and as an adult, I still think the premise is cool. I have not seen anything. I haven't watched these at all. I'm planning on getting to them this month. So I've got Hellsing, EXO SQUAD, BattleTech. I've got a busy month.
You have to stop playing your
Dune.
No Man's Sky and Dune for.
Yeah.
Well, I have to come to your house and hide those games for like 2 weeks.
I totally am. I need to. In Dune recently, I built a carry-all, and it's huge, so I had to build a new like garage for it, essentially a new hangar. And as I was building it, I had to build it on where my base is like on a rock, so I don't have a lot of space, so I had to go up. And I built like this tower for it. And after I finished, I was like, why did I spend all this time doing this? It's one of those things where I've gotten to the point in Dune where I'm like, I've played the game, I'm done with the story. What am I doing? Let me do something else. And this was just like 2 days ago, and I think I've gotten to the point where I'm like, I'll come back when there's more story.
Yeah.
But with EXO SQUAD, the premise is very Blade Runner-y, because humans have developed this new type of person, new type of being, and they're like blue humans, and they have like 2 thumbs. They have like the thumb coming out the other side of the hand, and they're like slaves on other worlds doing mining and stuff like that. And the story of the EXO SQUAD is, well, those people don't want to be slaves anymore, so they're revolting, and the EXO SQUAD is there to squash them.
Oh wow!
So it's definitely before a lot of the
not for modern audiences.
Yeah, definitely before a lot of the modern commentary about history. Now, as a kid, that's what I remember. It could very well get into, because this was around the time of like Captain Planet and stuff. So people started to become more critical of things. So it could dive into that and be like, oh, well, the humans are the real bad guys. I don't know.
Or maybe he flips side and frees them or something. Who knows?
If I remember correctly, there was one of I call them aliens, but one of the clone people who was like a good guy or something like that.
Yeah.
And BattleTech is literally like Mech Warrior. I played the Mech Warrior video games in the 90s. So I know Mech Warrior is a part of BattleTech. And when I was looking at EXO SQUAD to make sure I knew, was it only 2 seasons? Was there a third? I saw BattleTech and I was like, BattleTech? That was a cartoon? So I just sent it to you. I just recently found out about it. I'd love to watch it. That's all.
I don't know if those were the 2 of your list that you wanted the most, but those were the top 2.
Yeah.
And like I said, I was out of cash to go back down through.
Well, I appreciate you getting support.
Midnight Mass was like
top 1. Gotta get it.
He's like, I don't know if I still have it. If I don't have it, I can probably find one later and get it for you. And I was like, man, please. But yeah, he started shuffling around in boxes and was moving boxes around trying to get to the box that he thought Midnight Mass was in, and opened the one and saw like a Blu-ray in it. It's like, well, there's a Blu-ray there, and pulled it out as Midnight Mass, and I was like, yes.
Nice.
So I got Midnight Mass, and then the other thing I was trying to get from him was the Devilman Crybaby, which is also trapped on Netflix.
Yeah.
And it's like, do you have Devilman Crybaby? And I think he was thinking, he was hearing the words, probably didn't know that series. He's like, oh yeah, I've got it right here. And I was like, oh my gosh. It's like, this is the best day ever. And he reached down and got Devil May Cry.
Oh, so close.
And I was like, I explained to him what it was. He's like, man, I don't have that. I had never seen that one. And I was like, dang it. But I've also looked afterwards, and you can get that on eBay.
Okay.
So I will, I'll be getting that from another source. But I also think I came at him with so many ideas. I think he's probably going back and looking through his catalog of other stuff that he can get, and probably will have some new stuff next time that you see him. He probably has that at every show where people just are coming to him constantly. Hey, do you have this? Do you have this? And if he doesn't have it, he's got to be making some
writing down. People want this.
Yeah.
Well, we discussed about the idea of like, well, when is it appropriate to get those copies from them? And like, if you can get it from eBay and it's reasonable, I say that's fine. You get it from eBay. But like, if it's only available through eBay because it's long out of print and the people are charging $200 for something that costs them $40, yeah, get it how you can, man. I mean, if I can buy it somewhere like from Amazon or Best Buy who doesn't have anything anymore, and give some money to someone that will get that money to the producers, the people who own the IP, yeah, that's ideal. That's what I want to do. But like with BattleTech, like there's no physical version of BattleTech. There's no physical version of EXO SQUAD Season 2.
There's a guy who sells anime at shows. He sells real copies of stuff. And I walked past his booth. I think I was maybe looking for Evangelion or something from when we were talking about it before. I asked them about it, and she showed me this thing, and it was like $250.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, nope. And then as she was like putting that away, I saw like, there's Durara. And it's like, how much is Durara? And she's like, I don't think you want to see. It was like $300 some for like Durara. And I'm like, no, there's no reason for that. There's no, I mean, that's fine if you're selling it and you're charging that much for it because you have one of the 12 copies that's available in the continental United States. But there's no reason to limit anime like that. I don't know why some shows get produced and why some don't. I think one of the things you even sent me low on your list was the Fox Werewolf show.
Yeah. Yep.
I've got a copy of that over there from him.
Oh, okay, cool.
And that's completely hung up in no production land because there was like a lawsuit or a legal dispute over soundtrack music or something in the show.
That's exactly what I was going to say. Is sometimes media, and this happens in video games a lot, the thing that holds it up from being like reprinted or anything is they signed a contract for the music, and it was only to, well, you have the legal right to use this music for the next 5 years, and then after that you have to sign another contract, but no one's willing to sign another contract.
Actually, that had happened long enough ago that I was able to like kind of research that and find out, and like the parties met and tried to like negotiate it, and both determined this is too expensive to fool with, and just said, oh well, see you at the golf course next Thursday. Yep. Just said the heck with it. And I'm like, at that point I'm like, if that's how you handle stuff, then bootleg it is.
Yeah.
Give me the bootlegs. I have no moral problems with that.
That's right. I've had this discussion with people before, and there was one point where someone told me, because I used to be never, my thought was like never piracy ever. But I've come around to like, well, you know, if they're not going to be producing this stuff, and the only way you can get it is through some sort of bootleg or piracy or anything like that, hey, I mean, unless you're just going to accept that you can't watch it, that's the other one. And what someone told me once that just made me like go harumph was, they said, you don't have the right to view that media. And I was like, harumph, what are you talking about? I mean, you're right. You are right. Technically, you are right. But come on, man.
If I ever produce something that somebody will buy and we run out of copies, contact my company. I'll make more.
If someone wants physical copies of our podcast, just let us know. Yeah. We will produce it.
The fact that there's demand out there and people are like,
yeah, like, exactly.
What kind of business are you running?
Yeah.
I mean, come on.
And I've long thought, like you're talking about the Evangelion and the Durara, and like there are some video games from like the PlayStation 2, for example. One game I'm thinking specifically, I think it's called Rule of Rose. It's like hundreds and hundreds of dollars. I'm like, why don't these companies just like do another printing? Like, people are paying hundreds of dollars for these things. Just there's people who obviously want it.
Get an attorney,
do another printing,
do some research, and do a startup company to just get permission to make copies of a thing and market it, and just be we're not the production studio. We're Randy and Joel's DVD company, and buy the rights from the people, get copies, make runs of them, and sell them, and give them, whether they get their money from buying the rights or they get a kickback from the sales, whatever.
I like the idea
Negotiate a deal.
I like the idea of Kickstarter. I know Lego kind of does this, where they say, you bring us your Lego idea, and then they'll like choose some Lego ideas and be like, well, if you want this to exist, this many people have to like put their signature on the line and say, yes, I'll buy this.
Spend a year on Instagram and X and the other one, TikTok. Run polls and accumulate data. That doesn't cost anything to be like, which of these out of production things do you want to see most? And compile the data until you have a list of 20 things. Get your startup money, go produce those. If you've had 30,000 respondents, get 1,000 copies of each and sell them with rights, understanding that if those 1,000 sell, I'm going to make more. And good Lord.
Just through my head is going through all the like the hurdles. Like let's say you and me, we were like, hey, let's make a Joel and Randy DVD company or something. All the hurdles that like the things we would need to do to even get to that point, like to make the first one, it seems insurmountable. We can't even figure out how to get people to watch this. So I don't know, man. The
dude that made the Godzilla behind us, I think I told that story before about how, because they had an attorney that was involved with their original startup company, he actually went to Universal and got the rights to make all the Universal monster busts, like Frankenstein, Wolfman.
Yeah. Remember telling me about that.
Bride of Frankenstein, with the understanding that they would have exclusive rights, and negotiated all that. And then of course that all fell apart when China and Korea started knocking off their stuff and stealing their idea and selling it secondhand. And then they went back to Universal and was like, will you help us stop these guys from producing this stuff? That's part of our contract. And they're like, oh, they're overseas, we can't do that. but anyway, that all started with somebody that just knew enough legal stuff to go negotiate that original thing. And I don't care if we were making licensed DVDs of Durara and all that, and somebody's still making knockoffs that they're selling in China, fine, I don't care. I'd be meeting the demand here, where we could produce them here and make them in runs of 1,000 and sell them as the demand comes. And if you sell out, just be like, give us 6 months and we'll have another 1,000. Yeah. Or give us 2 months. Might not take that long. If you had the production here in the country, you'd have to send it off to Vietnam to get produced. It's one of those things that there'd be no reason you couldn't produce it in in a matter of weeks and have it ready for another run. But who knows?
That's a bit beyond me. Doing all that.
I could find the attorneys. I just don't have the startup money.
Right.
I know plenty of the attorneys that could probably get in there, and that's an easy actually get, because all you have to do is cut them in on a percentage of what the sales would be, and that's not hard to be like, hey, do you want to make some money? They'd be like, nah. Absolutely. It's like, do I have to do anything? No, just mail this letter to a dude and get permission.
I don't know if I were into any kind of production, I don't know if I would be okay like doing the production, like you're talking about doing it domestically. Like the way a lot of people get this done is doing the production overseas, doing like China or Korea or Indonesia or something. Like I'm thinking that one woman who had the booth with all the backpacks, you know, like she's getting those produced overseas, and that's how she's able to get her product.
Yeah.
So that would definitely be something, because I'm sure it'd be easy enough to find a company to be like, okay, well, if I get the rights to produce this DVD, can you put this media on this disc and have this cover and this case? Can you make that for me?
You can find somebody that was printing educational CDs for schools that would be like, we have the production, we have the means to do that.
Yeah.
But we don't normally deal in that stuff. And it's like, how hard would it be to do that?
Right.
We'd have to download the stuff. And that's it. And be like, okay.
If I were to ever get into any kind of production, I would want to, I would heavily prefer to try to get domestic production.
Oh, I would not do it.
Right.
That's the problem that we're all living through right now, is that nobody will produce anything here. So we're fighting this. We're in the middle of a fight between people and fighting back and forth over that.
And if you really want to dig into the argument, at one point you get to, well, if you want it done, you got to do it yourself.
Yeah.
I don't know if I want it done that bad.
I'm 100% in favor of doing something in small production stuff that you don't make $1 billion at. You can actually you can have a successful company where you make a few $100,000 a year, pay your employees. Don't be greedy about it. Just make a quality product. And
most Americans most people in the world, I would say, most people they want to have enough to where they don't have to worry about next month.
Yeah.
You know, that's what most people are. But anyway, that's a weird place to end this on.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. Well, let's go ahead and let everybody know if the audio is really weird, which it obviously will change, but our microphones died.
We forgot to plug them in because we were eating empty calorie food.
That's right. It was affecting our brain. So that's why the audio is different. We had to, like 2 or 3 minutes at the end of the episode, it just cut out. So yeah, that's why the audio is different.
Probably saw me sitting here poking my little microphone like,
yeah,
why won't you work?
Yeah, we listened back some of it, and there was a part where obviously my microphone died because I started sounding like I was in a can. Yeah. So anyway, that's episode.
We're through our desserts.
34 desserts.
We'll come back for our coffee service on cults.
That's going to be movies with cults.
Movies with cults.
Not cult movies.
All right.
All right. See you then, Joel.
Later.
All right.